Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, I wanted to talk about something that has kind of been going around my mind recently. Because I've been thinking about a lot of Spider-Man recently. And, of course, we just got some updates and news about Tom Holland and Spider-Man 4 and that sort of stuff. So, there's going to be no structure to this video. This is just going to be me spitballing things that are either confirmed, or they're still in rumor mill, or stuff I want to see, things like that. So, one of the things that that have been circling around for a while now about Spider-Man 4 is that Sony wants to do a multiverse movie with Tobey and Andrew in it again. Marvel wants to do a grounded Spider-Man story with their characters in it. Like we covered, if you guys follow the Jack Films podcasts channel, me and my cousin talked about the stuff that they're planning for that movie. How they wanted Daredevil and they wanted Kingpin in it, they wanted Black Cat in it, they also wanted Ant-Man and things like that. But Sony apparently... Now, I have not seen Venom the Last Dance yet. I really want to. That is one thing that I am going to try and get to this week. Like, whether if it's Friday this week, or this coming week, or something like that, right? But apparently they set up Null. And the thing is that, like, that could be a cool idea. But the thing is with that, I'm just like, what? If that is how you make it more grand, right? Like, sure, I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, Sony wants to pay stuff off that they've been setting up since the first Venom. But the thing is, right, because we've heard that they're thinking of making this film take place in the Void, which to me, I'm kind of interested in that, because if it picks up directly after Doomsday, you need to have a movie in the Void, because that is basically Battleworld. That's what I think. I think the Void is going to be the MCU's version of Battleworld, where different worlds and heroes are colliding into the Void, and it's kind of like what we see in like your season 1, where we see the Avengers Tower kind of corroded and stuff. I think that is basically going to be the MCU Battleworld. But here's the thing, right? Like, you can easily do Null and the other symbiotes in that. If you did that, then, you could have Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland and Tom Hardy in that movie, and then in Secret Wars, because then you could also have... I mean, I don't know if you want to go the live action route of the Spider-Verse characters, but you could try and put in Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099, and a live action Miles, a live action Spider-Gwen, and like, you might as well put in Madam Web, right, and Julia, and those characters from Madam Web, like the Spider-Women, and have Madam Web connecting the universes together and basically going like, look, here's this mission, we need you to save this. So like, if you have all that, I wouldn't hate the idea of that, because technically you're not throwing stuff into the one basket like they were trying to do, like, and again, my opinion, but if you guys have seen my why I think No Way Home is better than the Spider-Verse movies video, then you're technically not throwing things into the one basket like you were doing with the first Spider-Verse, where it's like, the TASM cinematic universe didn't work, so let's make our multiverse universe work. So let's put all these characters in one basket, make a story that should have been a Miles movie in my opinion, or even leave that movie as it is, but have a Spider-Gwen movie, a Peter B. Parker movie, and a Penny Parker movie, and a Spider-Man Noir series or movie that they're doing with Nick Cage at the moment, and have that, and set that up, and then have Into the Spider-Verse the way it was. And then it's like, you get to care about Miles, but also you have the multiverse colliding in. Or you leave that for Miles Morales too, right? So like, or you have a Miles solo movie, and then you have the whole thing of it falling in. Kind of like the Spider-Verse comic at the moment, where, well, it was a few years ago now, but much like the Spider-Verse comic, where it's like, it's Miles, but he goes into the, I don't know, the multiverse web or whatever it's called, and where he gets thrown through that, and then he basically gets explained, going like, look, we need your help to save the multiverse. Then you basically, then they do what they did with Across the Spider-Verse, where they just drop him in different universes, recruiting different Spider-Man. So like, if you did that, that would be awesome, and then I think that way you wouldn't feel like that you're necessarily doing, then it feels paid off, because you already did the Sam Raimi trilogy, you did the 2 Mark Waid films, you've done, at the moment, 3 Tom Holland films, and even that felt connected with No Way Home, right? Because No Way Home, that's why I am more high on No Way Home than I am on the Spider-Verse movies, because they didn't set up for Spider-Man 3 the MCU Spider-Man 3 to be a multiverse movie, but because they come up with a good story, and they already had those 2 Spider-Man movies two Spider-Man that we cared about in Tobey and Andrew, and even those villains, right? Like, they're villains that we cared about. Like, at the time we didn't care about Electro or Lizard, and some people didn't really care about Sandman at the time. But that movie made us care about those 3 villains. And the fact that those were villains that we knew and we loved, that what was made that movie so successful. The Spider-Verse movies are only, in my opinion, only make them made because everyone thinks that they're the best Spider movies we've ever gotten, which I totally disagree with that. There's plenty of others to put on top of that. But go watch that video where I explain the reasons why I prefer No Way Home compared to the Spider-Verse movies. But no, so like, if you did that, then that way Sony is paying off their Spider-Man movies. Then after that, we don't have to get any more, not live-action Spider-Man movies, but like live-action Sony spin-off Venom, Morbius, and Madam Web and Craven stuff. Then that way, it's like, you have that, that's what you were paying towards, and that can easily, those characters, when they win, they can go straight into Secret Wars. Because then Secret Wars, you can have the Sony characters, you can have the Fox X-Men, you have both universes of the Fox Fantastic Four, you can have maybe even a multiverse version of the main Avengers, you could have our Avengers at the moment, our young Avengers, and all that, right? Because you gotta remember too that that Tom Holland's contract has been renewed, because part of his old contract was, I think it was just Spider-Man 3, Doomsday, or Kane Dynasty, aka Doomsday. But now, he's renewed his contract, not just with Doomsday, but also with Secret Wars, Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, and new MCU movie appearances. Which I think that's very, very good. So, because another thing that I explained on the podcast was, I think that they're going to make Tom Holland the main character of Doomsday. Because you already have Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom, then that's going to be a storyline, because, like, that was his mentor from Civil War to Endgame. And then you also have like, even their relationship, right? Like, Robert Downey Jr. told Tom Holland that he was coming back as Doctor Doom, and Tom Holland's done a pretty good job in not revealing that, and he didn't get to talk about it until the interviews that he's done recently after the whole Robert Downey Jr. As Doctor Doom reveal at Comic-Con. So I think that is one of those things where you look at that and you're like, the stones are there. Like, everyone complains about, the MCU is not good past Endgame and they don't know where they're going. Clearly they have a plan for Spider-Man. Because if Tom Holland has signed on to more movies and they have Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom and they have a whole storyline going with Spider-Man, and if they do a live-action, basically Spider-Verse movie taking place between Doomsday and Secret Wars, they clearly have a plan. Because like, my one thing about the multiverse saga, even though that I think that I like most of those movies and series that they've come out with thus far, I think the thing is that, like, you got to admit though, most of those movies are not multiverse. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and She-Hulk, and Moon Knight, and that sort of stuff, right? Guardians 3, and stuff like that, right? There's multiverse scenes in the movies, but there's only a fair few multiverse movies. Like, the only multiverse movies we've had, really, is No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and Deadpool and Wolverine. And we have one scene at the end of the Marvels where Monica gets stuck in another universe with Beast. So, it's kind of one of those things where, clearly, they have some sort of plan. More of a plan now that they've had before. So, I would be fine that leading up to Secret Wars, like, don't do some multiverse movies before Doomsday, but do a few multiverse movies before Secret Wars, so then you can kind of lean into the fact that in the last post-credit scene of whatever movie, that last multiverse movie is your big, everyone, basically like, the way that they did the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania post-credit scene. But instead of seeing a bunch of Kangs, you see a bunch of portals or heroes falling down from the sky that is from the other movies. Whether if it's Tobey Spider-Man, Andrew Spider-Man, the original Fantastic Four with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba, and the Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan Fantastic Four. And you also have like the Ang Lee, Eric Bana Hulk. You have the Edward Norton Hulk. You have the Nick Cage Ghost Rider and stuff, and Ben Affleck Daredevil and stuff like that, right? So I think it's one of those things where it's like you can easily do that. That would be so cool, and I would love to see that. But that's just my theories of what I think Spider-Man 4 is going to be. So yeah, so guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe also to the little bell icon to get enough of future videos I make. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.